This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, and stories that leads the show are as follows. Bitcoin chaos. How about a lump of coal for Christmas? The AT&T and the Justice Department are going to war. We're going to talk about the Tesla truck pre-order. Of course, all the news of the day. I want to welcome you to episode 1246 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, December 7th, a day that will live in infamy. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider or simply PayPal.me/Geek News. You can pick up Ohana gear at cafepress.com/Ohana store. I want to give a warm welcome to all of the new listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking the show out for the very first time. I've got a great show for you today. I want you to hang out for a little bit. And of course, if you're a longtime listener of the show, thank you for being here. Thank you for staying subscribed. And a big shout out to all of our insiders that are supporting the show financially. Of course, if you're brand new to the show, we want you to take time to get over to geeknewscentral.com. And when you do so, when you're over on the website, you're going to find it very, very simple to get subscribed to the show. And it's right there in the right-hand column of the website, either via Apple Podcast on Android, via email, Google Play, on Stitcher, TuneIn, RSS feed. If you don't know what I'm talking about and how to subscribe to a podcast, click on the more subscribe options. There's also more info on getting subscribed to our newsletter a little bit further down the page. All you got to scroll down and go to the area that says important links, and you're going to find the newsletter link. Get subscribed to the newsletter. The newsletter contains everything I'm going to talk about in the show today and is emailed directly following the show with a link to the media file so that you can just grab it and go at any time. So thanks for everyone for being here. And I tell you, last show, we had just a little bit of trouble with the live stream. So tonight we're doing something new, and we'll see how it works. I got my fingers crossed. I think I knew what I was doing wrong. So it's all about this new TriCaster. It's got some new functions that you're not going to believe it. I found it about 15 minutes before the show started tonight on a switch setting that I had tweaked. There's no guarantees. Spectrum has to keep the broadband pushing. So we'll keep an eye on that. But hey, for those of you that are longtime listeners of the show, if you're brand new, we really want you to consider dropping your comments. And it's real simple to email the show. All you got to do is send me an email, geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, we want you to follow on Twitter as well. You can do that at Geek News on Twitter. So follow me there. And of course, join our Slack channel. So if you've never used Slack before, Slack is really, 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 really slick. And the Ohana's putting up stuff, sharing things with me in there. It's pretty cool. Send me an email. Tell me that you want to be part of the Slack channel. Of course, you can follow me on Google Plus or on Facebook just by searching for my name, Todd Cochran. You can watch this show on the Roku via the Tech Podcast channel, on the Apple TV via Geek News Central video feed. Listen on the Amazon Echo by telling the device to play the latest edition of the Geek News Central podcast. Of course, you can listen on Stitcher, watch review at blueberry.com. If you have a Google Home device, it can tell that device to play the podcast Geek News Central. Also, if you have a Microsoft Smart device and you have it linked to TuneIn, you can tell that device to play Geek News Central. And you'll get the latest show in a perpetual stream on the Microsoft Cortana device. So, of course, partner shows include No Better Than Average with Jacob and Jeff, the Gadget Professor, Mr. Don Bain, the Pro Gear site, which is put together by my writing team. And, of course, we've got the new media show, which I co-host with Mr. Rob Greenlee, and the Podcast Legends show, which is way, way behind from a latest episode. I want to share with you guys something today. It's been kind of like, this whole week has been, for me, it's been nuts. I mean, like starting at 4 o'clock in the morning and going all the way till 9:30, 10. It's been crazy. So I had some stuff here that I was due to, and I've never had stuff I've needed to really return to Amazon before. My wife has, but I haven't. So I had 2 or 3 items here that needed to go back. One was a switch that bricked itself, a couple of other things, $200-300 worth of return. So it was, well worth sending them back. So the one the one device, I didn't have the original box. So I went to UPS Pack and Go. They packed it up, you got it out ready to go and shipped. And then the other device, just a couple things I had to stick in some envelopes. It was really no big deal. But got me a little slip from UPS. Of course, there was prepaid shipping labels back to Amazon. And I'm no longer maybe 15 minutes away from the UPS store. And I see a notification on my phone that Amazon is starting the refund process. I was, wow, I couldn't believe it. They knew as soon as the return came into the system, it flagged in their system, and they assume, I guess, I'm sending the right thing back. So they had started the initiation of the refund to my credit card. And I was like, that's awesome. I mean, it's just like, talk about getting this warm and fuzzy. Now, it has to go back, and I'm sure they'll wait till it clears, I would assume. But no other manufacturer will refund you until they get it in their hands. So that was a big surprise. Also, my team at Blueberry, we launched a brand new product. Matter of fact, see if I can show it to you guys. It's called Podcast Mirror. And what it is a site that mirrors podcast RSS feeds. We put this together for a myriad of reasons. Make it fast, make it scalable, 99.99939 uptime, compatible with most podcasting services. It provides an HTTPS feed. It's very simple to set up. It's specifically designed for podcasting. Excuse me. So we basically have seen a whole bunch of use cases where people were using Cloudflare and they were having caching problems with their feed, and some hosting providers weren't supporting head request, and some folks were having trouble getting SL certificates, and it just goes on and on and on. So we basically made this not to be, and this is as close as it's going to come to a feed burner replacement. Now, the difference between feed burner and us is that we just mirror the feed on a new feed address on this like super high performance network. It's lightning fast. We do some error checking. So a whole bunch of stuff happens when people switch to using this, and had some good response from it. I'm pretty pleased so far where we're at with it. We'll be talking a lot more about it on the new media show, of course. But what's up with this? Let me hit something here. Oh, I need to send this screenshot over to, because something load here that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, isn't that curious? Someone forgot to put a, all right. So I'm saving this to save to send to Angelo. Let me put this in here. Every once in a while when you see something that it's like, wow. And this was a big one. I don't know how he missed that. Okay, well, easy fix. All right, bada bing, bada boom here. Let me go ahead and go through the rest of my notes here. Number one, I want to thank John. John, you have come through. John messaged me on Facebook today and said, "Are you still looking for a Nintendo Super NES?" I said, "Yes, I am." He says, "Well, I got an extra one coming." So I'm about 90% sure that I have scored a Nintendo Super NES. So John, big shout out, big thank you. Of course, I'm going to pay him for the shipping and all that stuff. But looks like I finally got one, and it's cool that you've got Ohana that will reach out and keep an eye on things when they know I'm on the hunt for one. So I appreciate that. All right, so tomorrow night I fly out to Seattle for PodCon. It's a weekend podcasting event, and so I'll be there. Probably gonna get in Saturday morning, Saturday, Sunday, fly back Monday. No show here on Monday, but we'll be back with you on Thursday for a regular show next week. And before we get into the content tonight, I do want to send a big shout out to the monster donation from Michael. You didn't have to do that, but I really appreciate the huge insider donation. It was major. Thank you so much for your support, Michael. I definitely appreciate it in a big way. If that's something that was unexpected, but definitely 2 thumbs up, and that'll go a long way. And actually, that contribution will help fund some of the content that we will be putting up for CES, and some of that stuff is going to start popping soon. So thanks for that. It's definitely appreciated. It's going to go right back into helping the production of the show. If you're already an insider, I'm long overdue for going through the full list and thanking everyone, but your contribution of whether it be $2, $5, $10, $15, $25 a month, whether it be one-time donations, is really, really appreciated in a big way. And geeknewscenter.com/insider if you want to do that. Before we go on, I almost forgot. I want to thank our sponsor here. Of course, our sponsor is our good friends at GoDaddy.com. And we've got the ongoing deals. And right into December, things are moving right along. As you would expect, can't ruin a good thing. 99cent.com's newer transfer. Although I heard someone had a transfer, had a problem using a 99cent.com. So we'll be checking into that. 30% off on new product purchases. $1 a month economy hosting with a free domain. So that's $12. They get you all locked in with economy hosting and a free domain for the first year. $1 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year, again with a free domain. And of course, a 1-month free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal, business, and business plus plans. All these codes, everything that I have for GoDaddy, all the savings that you can lock in is at geeknewscenter.com/GoDaddy. So keep this in mind. As we're getting close to Christmas, some of you are going to procrastinate and you're going to be like, what should I get someone for Christmas? So I've always said a domain name is something that lasts a lifetime, a well-chosen domain name. A hosting account where you set up something where they can start blogging or start a podcast. That's another lifetime thing that you can give away, or give yourself the gift of a hosting account and get started up. Kirk, our executive producer here at Geek News Central, has started his own blog, and and we'll be talking when he gets it ready and it's all up and ready to go. He's going to talk about the behind the scenes of doing production for this show, and the things that I have him doing and going to CES and all that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kirk has to put on his blog in regards to the production of the show and everything he's learned on the backside. So you guys are going to be hearing a lot more from Kirk too when we're at CES, because he is going to be our social media, taking pictures. He's going to be really kind of really busy, and I'm looking forward to working with him and Colton as well, who's going to be my cameraman. But again, geeknewscenter.com/GoDaddy. Check those deals out. Thanks to GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. And of course, big thanks to the GoDaddy team for their ongoing support of this show. All right, so let me double check. I want to see if this stream stuff is working good. Yeah, everything is healthy. Awesome. So tonight we're really up 3 streams, but I got the third stream on another connection. I didn't try to push it too hard, and I didn't actually load the page, so I should have loaded that. We're at live.geeknewscenter.com on YouTube. And of course, we're live on Facebook as well. So Everyone, thanks for checking it out. And of course, those of you who are listening on demand, thank you too. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the stack. I have a pretty good stack of stuff. Let me save this. Go ahead and close that. I don't need it. And I want to talk first off about the Bitcoin situation. I just have this funny feeling, and I might be missing out on the investments of a lifetime. But Bitcoin today soared to a new high of, like, at least when this article was written, about $17,000, and then it went down around, and I heard it may went as high as 20,000. The GDAX cryptocurrency exchange, the price was at one point 19,000, but there was a disparity between the exchanges. So I logged in, or I tried to log in to Coinbase today to kind of get an idea where some Bitcoin I have in there, where it was, where it's at, what it's, actually dollar-wise increase. And, significant amount, up 35, 40% or whatever from when I bought it. But the big challenge that people continue to have is sites being down, trades not going through. And I think the thing I'm concerned about is when you're buying on the stock exchange, you have the ability to look and hopefully look at a company's financials and look at their reporting quarter to quarter, see what they're doing, see what their sales are, and if they're being a lawful company and reporting correctly, you can get a pretty good idea where a company's going, where it's headed, what its value is. And so when you buy a stock, and let's just say the stock is $100, and the company has a bad quarter, you would expect the stock to go down. And depends on how bad the quarter was, the value will go down, the valuation of the company will go down, and when they have a good quarter, the valuation will go up. And, each company rides with its success, right? Or failure. If you look at the bond market, you look at the bond rating of a city or whoever's buying the bonds. And if you want to buy into bonds, those are usually less, they don't make as much money, but they're usually a lot safer if the person that's, wrote the bond has got a good credit rating and they're paying back, and you'll see a good return on your investment. And it's a little bit slower way to get there. You look at gold, it's a tangible item. Some people buy gold and never actually touch it, but some people get gold and they have it in their hands. Now, preppers will buy small, like chips, and they'll buy gold that they could use to trade. They don't necessarily have a bar of gold, like 4 or 5 ounces or something like that. Some may, but mostly if you're going to invest in gold, a lot of times people will hold it, but there's always a processing fee. So you've had to have made a lot of money from when you bought it low and sold high, and to overcome the processing fees of doing the trade and all that. So, but there's a tangible item or tangible entity behind those investment currencies. As a geek, I think Bitcoin is awesome. I think it's cool. It serves a purpose. With Coinbase, you can sell Bitcoin, transfer it to your PayPal account for a 2.5% processing fee, or there's no way to do an instant transfer to your bank account. So the trade is not always finalized. So somewhere you pay some trading penalties, and Coinbase makes money on those trading penalties. There's no reason for them to have to charge 2.5% to transfer your money to PayPal. When I do a bank transfer from my bank into PayPal, PayPal doesn't charge me to do that. That's not something that costs money, and many of you probably don't know that. But I basically don't pay everything that's in my PayPal account to pay the Ohana. whether we've had donations come in, or sometimes I have to recharge the PayPal account. So I'll recharge that from my business checking account. I'll pull in $1,000 or whatever is required to get it to the point where I can pay the podcasters and, do the things that we do here. So, but Bitcoin, if you've come in low, you're set. You're set, and you're gonna make a lot of money and have some good capital gains. But you have to have buyers on that upper end that are willing to buy the Bitcoin at the peak price. So if the peak was at 16,500 and you sold at 16,500, it's like putting your placard in the air at the stock market and saying, I want to sell, 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 sell. And not always is there someone there to buy. Sometimes sell orders, even at the stock market, don't go through, or the price goes down until someone feels comfortable and will buy the stock. So my concern about Bitcoin is we're getting to these stratospheric levels of valuation. I have a true fear that someone's going to take a huge bath. So if you're just buying Bitcoin and not doing any homework, you're not reading up on Bitcoin, and you're not following what's going on in the news and understand what's happening, please, 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 please use it like putting a bet on a crap table. You put your $200-$300 on the crap table, you get your chips, and you put your line bet, and you put your, whatever side bets you're going to have. And, to play craps, all you got to do is have $5 on the table to play, or 10, or whatever the minimum is. And if the person hits the number, you win. If they hit 7, you lose your bet. You don't have to make any additional bet besides the base bet on the pass line. Or you can bet against the table and bet that they're going to throw a 7, or then you can make the side bets. Well, please treat this cryptocurrency thing at this point. If you are not following this on a day-to-day basis, you're not a day trader, please, the money you put into this thing, it's like putting that money out there on the crap table. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, and don't put so much money from your coffers. Be diversified, okay? And I think it's a good thing to play around with, to have fun. If you got the budget to do it, and you don't have to buy a lot. Let's say you charge your Coinbase account with $100, and you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. You're not going to eat it too bad if the price goes down by 50%. You're going to, well, that was an experiment that didn't work out. And you're going to wait, and you'll leave that in there. And hopefully someday the Bitcoin price will come back, or you're going to buy it and it's going to go to 50,000. You just don't know. But I'm just imploring on people that there's something going on. It's a lot of hype right now. A lot of hype. And I just don't want to see people get rolled up. And I've got a friend who's doing real well. But he's following this. He's got a business. He's able to sit and watch what's going on a minute by minute basis on what's going on, and is able to execute. But they have trade limits too. So if you go out and buy $5,000 worth of Bitcoin and you don't have everything set up right, and let's say the price triples, well, a lot of these trading sites, a lot of these sites like Coinbase and others, they have weekly limits on how much you can cash in. So it's not like the stock market where you show up with $1 million and you say, invest me $1 million in Intel. They're going to go out and buy you $1 million worth of Intel. And then if you want to unload that, you usually get rid of it pretty quickly, but not in cryptocurrency, not on these exchanges. So just be careful, all right? And I'll be honest with you, I wish hindsight's 2020. I wish we would have, at Raw Voice, would have took Bitcoin early on as an option, because it could have been an incredible investment for the company that would have paid off in spades. So those companies that people were buying pizzas with 5 Bitcoins in the early days, if that business owner held those Bitcoins, they're set for life. They really, really are. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show. And he says, as well as understanding how many businesses are using Bitcoin as tender. Yes, I agree. So, and you can't always use Bitcoin. Now, I paid a bug bounty with Bitcoins, and was happy to do it. But I tell you, it's a little, I don't know. I just have a bad feeling. And maybe you guys are going to laugh all the way to the bank. I hope you do. I hope I'm completely being too conservative here. But again, it's like going to Vegas. You're going to have so much money to gamble and have fun with. And if you put that money on the table on the Bitcoin exchanges, just consider it gone. And if you make some money, great. If you lose it, then you're not going to feel bad, okay? Or if you're a professional trader, I'd love to hear on how you're doing. I'm sure you're doing well. But anyway, that's that. All right. Let's be honest. Not all of us were really that good this year. I know this Ohana is all perfect angels. Everyone, would deserve a, fantastic Christmas present from your significant other or whatever. But maybe you've got a coworker that's being a little, snooty for the year. You can buy something now that, and it's from, I think someone's going to have to clue me in here, but, good kids get presents, bad kids get coal, right? And so if you deserve a lump of coal, there's a company that can help you with that. It's called Let's Coal. And for a low price of $20, they'll send you a relatively beautiful lump of coal. Every lump is 100% natural, so no more harmful preservatives or artificial colors, just green burning coal. Now, this is definitely a gag gift, but you can actually buy some coal. And, this little chunk of coal probably has a value of about a nickel. So they're brilliant here, what they're doing. They provide you the kindling and everything you need to get it to start to burn. So anyway, this is kind of funny. So Let's Coal. I'll have the link up in the show notes if you want to buy someone some coal for Christmas. AT&T and the Justice Department are going to argue, or they're arguing already on when to start the Time Warner proceedings. And AT&T and the Justice Department met in court, and AT&T's aiming for the trial to begin on February 20th. The Justice Department wanted it to begin on May 7th. The judge in the case decided on March 19th. Of course, there's an incentive for AT&T to begin sooner since it costs the company to hold the deal together. The company has already pushed back the deadline on the deal to April 22nd and faces a potential breakup fee of $500 million if the transaction fails. Couldn't happen to a nicer company if that was the case. So what do you guys think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think AT&T should be able to acquire Time Warner? I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Think this should be allowed? Or is there too much consolidation of media companies? What do you guys think? Love to hear from you. geeknews@gmail.com. All right, next article up. Tesla. Wow. They just received its largest production order of semis. This is big. And I forgot to click that. Let me do this. All right. A little late notification for people, but it'll go up on social media now. Let me load this for you. So, Tesla I can't speak like the president can't speak. No, I don't need to go and have a physical. Tesla just received its largest production order of semi-trucks yet. And this is big. Congratulations to him. Anheuser-Busch said it reserved 40 of the electric rigs. They had to put down $20K on each. So they deposited $800,000 with Tesla to buy 40 of these. So, I'll be honest. If I drink a Bud product, instant headache. There's only one or two beers that Anheuser-Busch makes that I can drink without getting a headache. But definitely a Budweiser or a Bud Light. Ugh. Worst beer, in my opinion, on the planet. Of course, you're talking to the guy that also likes Miller Lite but craft IPAs and that kind of stuff too. So most of you already threw up in your mouth when I said Miller Lite, but what can I say? But anyway, Anheuser-Busch placed an order for 40 of the Tesla semis. Congratulations to Tesla on that deal. Many of you that have Apple TVs know that you got the Amazon Video app that finally showed up. Amazon Prime Video has finally landed on the Apple TV. And this is great news for those of you that don't have a Roku or a Fire Stick. Now, let's be honest. The Fire Stick is like $40. Just get the Fire Stick. But, that Amazon remote drives me crazy. The Apple TV remote, drives me crazy. The Amazon remote's fine. But anyway, so the Amazon Prime Video running on the Apple TV's 4K delivers the video in 4K high definition, but the audio only comes out in PCM stereo. The vast majority of TV shows available on Prime Video these days are made in Dolby 5.1 sound. If you go and check out such shows as A Man in the High Castle and The Grand Tour on, say, Amazon Video apps, you'll see a little checkbox saying 5.1 on their header page. On the Apple TV Amazon Video app, there's no such box, and everything only plays as PCM stereo. Now, this is what you wouldn't necessarily expect from Apple or even from Amazon, but this is the case. So, you're also, I'm the guy that, we got helicopters flying. You guys hear that? Maybe you can't hear that in the background. But you're also looking at the guy that on his TV in his bedroom just listens to the speakers on the TV. And only in my living room do I have any type of sound system, which really isn't even that fancy, to be honest with you. Some of you've got it all wired in. You got surround sound in the back and side and speakers coming low and high. No such thing here, at least not in my house. Over on makeuseof.com, do you have a Windows 10 Wi-Fi problem? That's something that hasn't happened to me yet. Wi-Fi issues are some of the most frustrating you can encounter, but apparently there's some Windows 10 issues that you may encounter that is causing you issues to connect. So anyway, they've got a good troubleshooting gouge on how to troubleshoot your Windows 10 Wi-Fi issues. Link will be in the show notes. T-Mobile is tearing apart Verizon's 5G broadband plan as unrealistic. As Verizon pushbacks on its self-imposed deadline, T-Mobile says it remains committed to rolling out superfast 5G commercial service by 2020. On Monday, T-Mobile CEO John Legere used Twitter to call out Verizon for its plan to speed up wireless broadband services using a next-generation cell tech called 5G. Specifically, he criticized the rival for missing a self-imposed deadline of deploying commercial services by 2017. Verizon said last week that the planned rollout of 5G broadband service would instead happen in the second half of next year, starting with Sacramento, California, expanding to 4 other unnamed cities. In a follow-up interview on Tuesday, T-Mobile Chief Technology Officer Neville Ray called Verizon's plan to deploy 5G unrealistic, citing the technical hurdles of using so-called millimeter wave spectrum or radio airwaves that run at a high frequency, 28 gigs, 30 gigs, 40 gigs, and can deliver super fast internet connection. By the way, I have news on. So anyway, before I get too excited here, that what I have found is that my T-Mobile MiFi recently has been much better performance than my Verizon Wi-Fi. Much better performance. And it makes you go, just a little bit. Now, on to the big news. So I'm talking to my mom on the phone. And she said, we had some people out surveying, and they were out here with a tree trimming truck and a big extension, and we're going to put in a tower. And I'm like, what? She says, yeah, we're going to install a tower so that we have, get the Wi-Fi reception, not the Wi-Fi, their internet provider connection much higher up in the air to be able to get much higher speeds. And so I'm like applauding, because what my sister did is she tried to go, she had unlimited internet with Verizon. She was on the old plan. They talked her into going to the new plan. So because they're living in the country, they had at least 5 phones on unlimited internet, the unlimited bandwidth plan with Verizon. I don't even want to know what her bill was. And they were still running out and being throttled. And my mom has maintained this wireless connection that uses some sort of technology, that's probably close to millimeter wave, but they've never been able to get direct line of sight because there's some woods, actually a forest, a small, if those of you that live in the city, forests are big, woods are small, like 10 acres of woodlot and trees and animals. Okay, so you get my idea, right? So there's a woods in between where my mom lives and where the tower is. So they need to get it up higher, get the antenna up higher so that they can get a more direct line of sight and increase the speed. So I think they're going to spend like $3,000 to put in the tower. Now, they didn't have to go super high. It would have cost a lot more money, because then they would have had to have guide wires and a whole bunch of stuff to hold it in place. And I'm like, make sure you put it in tall enough. Make sure you go high enough. Don't mess around. Do it right the first time. If you have to go to 50 feet, you got to have a tower tall enough to clear get the line of sight. Then that's what you need to do. You're going to do this, do it one time. But anyway, so maybe they're going to get faster internet speeds. Now, what that speed is, I don't know. We will find out. If you live in Missouri, Tesla can now sell electric vehicles in Missouri again after a court win. Auto dealerships in Missouri really don't want Tesla on their turf. And the last year, they got a judge to ban the automaker from getting a license in the state. However, the Missouri Court of Appeals has overturned that verdict, allowing Musk and company to resume selling cars directly to consumers. We've been serving customers in Missouri for almost 5 years and contributed to the state economy and jobs for Missourians, said something that will now continue, Tesla said in a statement. So they were basically, the judge pointed out, the Missouri Auto Dealers Association was effectively trying to avoid competition, and they weren't looking out for the public and the public interest. So this is a win for Tesla, and I think this is a right court decision for sure. Mike says it's a former coal miner's genius move and job transitional. Oh, that's for the lump of coal. I agree. St. Louis, but is originally from Milwaukee. Yeah, go Miller. I agree. Matter of fact, the first beer I think I ever drank when I was, let's put it this way, probably not legal, was a Miller High Life. And I don't like Miller High Life anymore. I'll drink Miller Light, but not straight Miller. All right, YouTube reportedly plans to introduce a new paid music streaming service. Really? Tentatively called Remix, the service will be Google's third swing at catching up to rivals Apple and Spotify. Ho hum. Google Play is pretty good too. Oh, just what we need. Another music service. Well, one of the most vocal proponents of net neutrality has resigned. Senator Al Franken is out. At least he says he's going to go out. amid allegations of sexual harassment. The Minnesota Democrat says he will leave office in the coming weeks. It's kind of a weird announcement, but he is, I guess he put his hands where they shouldn't have been. And boy, it's just the chopping block continues, doesn't it? On this, on the folks that are being taken down over sexual harassment. Game of Thrones is returning in 2019, Sansa Stark says, with extra long episodes planned, and Westworld returning in 2018. Don't book your ticket to Westeros just yet. So, the Winds of Winter is potentially coming in 2019, which sucks. Season 8 of the Game of Thrones began filming in October, but HBO has only said it will premiere in 2018 or 2019. The show is such a monster to film, though, that 2019 is the better bet. Star Sophie Turner, who plays Sansa Stark, seems to have confirmed that date to Variety. So maybe she wasn't supposed to say that, but we will see. But, let's be honest. I think that Westworld is one of the most brilliant shows that HBO has ever introduced, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where that particular show leads to next. I really, really am. NASA's capture space view of California wildfire blazing. Boy, and I tell you, if you're in that fire path, so devastating down there. I'm just, I'm flying into California, so I'll probably get a firsthand look at it as I'm coming in. But, best of luck to everyone. And I hope that all the Ohana that are there are safe. But, man, when California burns, it just burns, doesn't it? Having all those years of drought, and then they got, you got wet and things grew, and it's this cycle, it really, really is. But this is a pretty impressive picture from space. It really is pretty impressive. And it shows the amount of smoke being discharged from this thing and the actual fire line and how big that fire is. And you just know houses are being, destroyed in the path of this thing. So it's massive. It's really incredible to look at this picture and see, the green now black, just in where this fire's going. So heart goes out to all those folks in a big way. All right. It's the end. Get close to the end of the year, and people are like the best of. And I'll be honest, I don't think I saw this particular GIF, but it's pretty cute, and it is being tabled as one of the top gifts of the year. And if you haven't seen this, let's see if I can bring this up. So I don't know if you've saw this GIF before, but that was a pretty brilliant one. Of course, I guess the blinking white guy is a big one, and of course the dog waving as well was another good one. So we always love those memes, those GIF memes that you see all the time on Facebook and different places. So I've got Giphy loaded on my on my phone. How about you guys? Hilton has unveiled its plans for its smart hotel room rollout in 2018. Airbnb has gained in popularity, but Hilton Worldwide is betting that Airbnb has gained in popularity, and they claim that chain hotels offer a cookie-cutter experience. Hilton is fighting back with technology that enables guests to personalize their experience. Hilton Worldwide is betting that guests will want to control their room's thermostat, television, and other amenities via their mobile phone. Actually, not. Really, I don't. Why would I want to do that for a hotel room? I guess if you want your room cold and have ESPN on the TV when you arrive, the room can start cooling once you check in, or putting a log on the fire if that may be the case. The end goal is that the experience will travel with guests consistently and seamlessly as they visit various brands in various countries. I do have a question for you. So in February, we're gonna the whole entire family's going to Tampa. We're gonna have a reception with my daughter, a party, pictures and wedding dresses, and all this stuff. And so we're gonna be doing that for a couple of days, and then for 3 days, maybe 4 days, we're gonna go over to Orlando. And I have both. I have more Hilton points than I have Marriott points. So for those of you that have stayed in Orlando, and there's going to be 5 of us, where have you guys stayed on a Hilton property that you've liked? It doesn't have to. I don't. We don't care about top end. We care about convenience, cleanliness, convenience, good breakfast. Specifically Hilton property, or if you've got something that's really, but again, I've got points, so I don't have to pay. I just use points to stay. So love to hear you guys' feedback for Orlando, because there's, hotels are a dime a dozen down there, but I want to get my reservations in soon, and I'm just looking for suggestions. I use 330,000 frequent flyer miles to fly all of us coach and back. If I wanted to fly us all first class, I wouldn't have had enough points. It was 90,000 miles each way to fly us first class to Florida. So we'll all be comfy up against one another in coach. At least I'll know who my seatmate's going to be, because I'm the one that did the seating arrangement. And you can absolutely guarantee I put the most skinny kid next to me every time. All right, watch Rocket Lab try a second time to fly its rocket to orbit. The Electron rocket on New Zealand launch pad prior to the upcoming flight. They've got a 10-day window, 4 hours each day to launch this bad boy, and they're going to stream it live. But they're only going to, they are going to, they're not. They're going to come live with the stream 15 minutes prior to launch. So you have to keep your eye on Rocket Lab's Twitter account to keep an eye on it. I'm sure we'll catch it post, because no one's going to be watching it that close. But we haven't been following them too much, but we'll keep an eye out and see what they do here, and if they get this thing to get their test flight in and out. All right. It may be too late, but if you're listening right now, Peter, good morning. And if you're in the United States, remember, I scored some of these earlier this year. Best Buy is selling 8 terabyte external hard drives for $140. Okay, it's not quite Black Friday pricing, but it's close. But I got some of these earlier in this year about the same price. I had to break one of them apart to use it for a different thing, so I actually ordered 2 more. So $140 a piece. Now it's not quite cheap, but it's 8 terabyte external hard drives. All right. They've got Western Digital Reds in them. All right. This is what's inside those drives. They're a really good drive. Okay. Matter of fact, right here is what it looks like. I had one right on the floor next to me. And again, 8 terabyte drive. It's got USB 3, but $140 for 8 terabyte external storage. And I think this deal's going to go away soon, so you got to get on it. All right. So for those of you listening live, you got a chance here. Kirk had done the research today, and I saw this. I said, oh my God! I jumped over there and grabbed 2. And this is a good way to have you can buy 2, and then you can put them in a enclosure, a relatively inexpensive enclosure, a little RAID enclosure. And you can have it set up so that if one drive goes bad, you still have, you're still good. So it's a good way to start a little mini RAID system for you. And those little mini RAIDs to hold 2 drives are really inexpensive, but you can break these things apart and take the drives out and use them in those devices, or just use them external hard drives. Fellas, this is not for the ladies. This is for the guys. I'm sure you're going to be thrilled, but the next time you're in a business establishment and you have to go and use their facilities, use their restroom, you may be presented with a video. This is called the Smart Urinal. So what it does is it sits there patiently waiting for you to step up and do your business. And as soon as you let her rip, the this this smart urinal will play you a 45-second advertisement. Um, Lovely. Now, for those of you that have a business establishment, yes, you can manage these remotely, and they can be sprayed down so that you can spray them down with water and grease. Or in detergent and everything else to clean them. So you don't have to, touch them once you get them set up. Ha ha ha. And but anyway, they got sensors in them to determine when you're using the restroom, and they will play you a little advertisement. So a little way for business here to recoup some money from their restroom. Now, this is nothing new. If you've been in Vegas and go to in almost any men's room in Vegas, and you go to a urinal, there is a TV there that is playing you some promotion for the hotel. Ladies, I don't think you get advertised to. Do you guys get advertised to in the restroom when you go into the stall and shut the door? Is there a TV monitor there that's advertising to you? Or is this only the guys that are being subjected to this abuse? But one thing's for sure, it keeps guys' eyes on the ads instead of looking around. Best Buy's 3-day Apple sale started today. So they've got Apple devices, mostly Apple phones on sale. So that's available for you, those of you that didn't get anything during Black Friday. Verizon has quietly added in their Fios lineup Netflix integration to 3 of its set-top box models. So if you've got the IPC 1100p2, the IPC 1100p1, and the VMS 1100 DVR set-top box, the Fios customers now have native access to the streaming TV service from directly within the cable interface. So smart on them to implement that, right? Okay. Do you have a smart luggage? Do you have a luggage that's got a battery in it? Well, starting January 15th, a number of major airlines will ban any smart luggage that features a non-removable lithium-ion battery. Delta, American, Alaska have all released similar guidelines in the last week that will prohibit these bags from being checked onto or carried onto flights. Travelers will be allowed to check smart luggage with removable batteries, provided they take those batteries with them in the cabin. Tom Purcelli, the CEO of smart luggage company Blue Smart, says in a statement to The Verge that the ban is an absolute travesty and it calls it a huge step back for travel technology. Blue Smart bags, 65,000 of which are in use around the world, according to its website, will be particularly affected by the new restrictions because the company does not make batteries removable. Other companies that make smart luggage with removable batteries, like Away, are taking a softer line in response to the news. Away products aren't impacted by the new ban from American Airlines or any other airlines. The new policies are banning luggage with non-removable batteries. And since every Away carry-on has a removable battery, we're not impacted. So just carry a lithium-ion battery in your computer bag. Come on, you don't need it in your suitcase. Didi, the ride-sharing giant of China, is coming to North America. And matter of fact, I got turned on to a brand new, oh my God, did I save the name of it? I got turned on to a new car rental place. Much cheaper. And they're not on site on most airports. They're off, but they'll come get you at the airport. It was like 25, 30% less for the rental car. I'll get you the information because I was looking. My car I'm renting in Tampa is like $900 for the week. And then when I went on this other site and looked at it, same vehicle is like $548 or something like that. And I was like, whoa. So I booked with them, but I got to find the information and share with you. I'll get that for you by the next show. I'll try to remember that. All right. Discover is the latest major credit card company to do away with signatures. I didn't know that credit card companies are doing away with signatures. This basically announced it won't require customers to sign their name when checking out starting on April of 2018. I know that sometimes it works with Visa and MasterCard. Sometimes sometimes you do a purchase that's small enough you don't have to sign. So I guess MasterCard announced that some time ago, but I guess it'll become more widespread. Facebook's new Did You Know feature asks you to answer icebreaker questions. Did you know? This is how it pops up. It says, if I had to be locked for a week in a room that was completely dark or completely bright, I'd rather. So if you had to be locked in a room that was completely dark or completely bright, so was it mean like pitch black where you couldn't see anything? Then I would definitely want bright. If it was dark but not black, I would definitely want dark over bright, because if you ever tried to sleep in a bright room, it sucks. Chrome 63 is offering even more protection from malicious sites using even more memory. So, Chrome's default model is approximately to use one process per tab. This more or less ensures that unrelated sites are kept in separate processes, but there are nuances to this setup. Chrome 63 introduces a new model called Site Isolation and Site Isolation Mode. This sharing is eliminated, and the browser applies a much stricter policy to ensure that individual sites remain in separate processes, even pages were formerly related, and hence eligibility shared will be separated in a long browsing session within a set tab that spans several different sites will get a new process each time the new domain is visited. Chrome does a much better job with tabs than Firefox does. So this is cool. Keep an eye out for this. Chrome 63, version 63. A police dash cam caught a meteorite streaking through the sky, Mays Landing, New Jersey. A police sergeant inadvertently captured footage of a large meteorite streaking across the sky. Pretty cool video. The link is up in the show notes. Only about 70 people saw this or reported it at least. So you guys check the video out from the show notes. The PlayStation 4 sold 70 million units, while the PSVR 2 tops 2 million. So that's interesting. 70 million units. And again, that puts the console on track to surpass its predecessor very soon. Again, the PS3 sold over 80 million units in its lifespan. So, wow. What is a PSVR? What is PSVR? The virtual reality, PlayStation VR. Oh, wow. My kids have been bugging me on the gaming stations lately, and I'm not budging. So save your own money. I'm done buying game consoles. San Francisco's restrict the use of delivery robots on its sidewalks. So this is a hit for anyone that's doing dev to come up with some sort of delivery service using a ground rolling drone. And they've outright banned it in San Francisco. They're going to have to get a license just to test, and then it has to be accompanied by someone and a whole bunch of other stuff. So this doesn't apply to drones, only those road rolling drones or sidewalk rolling drones. And so that's a big setback. I've always took PayPal here for the Insider program, and never really had any of you ever complain about the Insider program being PayPal. And I've never been a big fan of Patreon, but Patreon has announced a new service fee, and it's basically got the creators all up in arms, basically saying you're costing the folks that are donating money more cash, and they've got a PR nightmare on their hand. I noticed tonight there was another announcement from them saying they'd made another change, but we'll keep an eye on this. But we'll continue to use PayPal here. It's just simple. I don't get whacked by a bunch of stupid charges. I don't have to go to another website. You guys don't have to give up your names. It's all tied into, this show and me, and you don't have to be publicly faced or anything like that. So, but again, thanks to all of our insiders that are supporting us at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Okay, so if you're looking for some inexpensive smart home Christmas gift ideas, of course, the Amazon Fire TV is a good idea. The Google Home device is another consideration. The Garmin Vivo Fit 3 is $57. The Logitech Pop Smart Button Kit with Apple HomeKit support, $59. The iLife A6 Robot Vacuum, $235. I tell you, I love my Roomba. That thing, it's annoying to empty the little thing every day. And I know I have to replace the filters from time to time, but that thing is the best. iDevice thermostat, how much is that bad boy? $98. The August smart lock, I don't recommend smart locks on homes yet. $149. Some people will maybe contest that and companies won't like it, but a little too close to home on those smart locks. 10-bis HD camera, $40.85, 720p. The Conoco Smart Power Switch. Oh, is this? Wow, look at this. $31. Can you shut it off with an app? Works with Alexa. Very, very cool. Anyway, some very cool gift ideas here in this link. You'll definitely want to check out makeuseof.com. It'll be up in the show notes, of course. Final couple of articles. If you're still paying for your ISP's modem, please go buy your own modem. They're relatively expensive, $55 to $170, depending on the type that you want. Many of them now have routers built right in them. You just buy the modem; it has the router in it. You don't have to buy another device. So quit paying that rental fee. And finally, LG has a limited edition ceramic phone. It only costs $1,800. So if you like stuff to be ultra exclusive and ultra expensive and have more money than common sense, LG has the phone for you. The LG Signature Edition has a shell made of zirconium ceramic, which the company claims won't scratch, but it most likely will shatter. All right, let me see if we had any emails that came in. Right. Left click. Bada bing, bada boom. Come on, load. Gmail's been slow. Yep, I think we've got everybody. No new emails have come in. Yeah, that one I already read. Hey, everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the Ohana. Thanks for hanging out with me and making this show on your subscribe list. And thank you for your ongoing support of the sponsor. And of course, all of you that are insiders contributing to the show. And of course, Michael, thank you for your monster donation. I think that was the single biggest one-time donation ever. And I definitely appreciate it a great deal. I really, really do. And again, for everyone else, it doesn't matter what you contribute to, $5, $10, $15, $25, whatever plan you're on at geeknewscentral.com/insider. I greatly appreciate it. And believe me, every penny that you contribute via the Insider program goes into the PayPal account. And that is all of our writers are paid out of the PayPal. Everything we do, it's none of it comes back into my checking account to pay me. It goes to pay the team, to pay for Kirk for production work. All that stuff is done there through that account. That's where all that money goes out. So again, thank you so much for supporting the show. It's really, truly contributing to the production of the podcast, and none of that money comes back to Todd. It goes to the team that continues to support and build and write for Geek News Central. All right. As we're coming to the end of the year, if you have any comments about the show, any suggestions, any feedback, good time to be, looking at that type of information. I would expect, based on the holidays, that we'll have a show on the 14th, we'll have a show on the 18th, we'll have a show on the 21st. There'll be no show on Christmas. There will likely be a show on the 28th, and then I'm off to Vegas. And there definitely will be no show on January 1st. So then we'll switch into the mode of CES coverage from January 1st to about the 12th. And then I'll be back and we'll be doing the regular show. I do have a bunch of travel planned already. I'm going to be between when NAB comes, I'll be out, I think, a whole month. I have to go to the East Coast for meetings and then a week at NAB. Then I think I go right back to the East Coast. February, going to be a wedding with my daughter and then vacation. So there'll be no show that week. So there's be some, we're going to start the year off with a lot of content, and but we're going to wrap the thing up here with a roar, of course, as well. But thanks for being part of the family here. Thanks for supporting the show. And for everyone that was on live tonight, thanks for hanging with me. It looks like everything made it all the way to the end, which is absolutely fantastic. So let me see. Let me look at the YouTube stream. How did it do? Yes, it's still up. No errors whatsoever. So I'm very, very excited about that. And also, live stream stayed up too. All right, everyone, we'll see you next time. See you back here a week from today. All right, no show on Monday. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha.